Right now, a multi-billion-dollar psychological trap is sitting directly inside your pocket, and it has successfully transformed your hard-earned life savings into a highly addictive mobile video game. Think about the exact last time you opened a modern financial app just to check your balance, but found yourself executing a risky transaction only minutes later. What you did not realize at that moment is that a brilliant team of Silicon Valley behavioral engineers engineered that exact psychological impulse to hijack your brain's dopamine pathways. There is a dark architectural blueprint hidden behind the clean interfaces of modern fintech platforms, and absolutely nobody ever warned you about how it quietly exploits your evolutionary vulnerabilities. Before I reveal the exact scientific term for this cognitive weapon, and how one single hidden interface mechanic literally caused an unprecedented consumer protection crisis, we must examine the invisible machinery operating right behind your glass screen. I break down exactly one deep psychological concept per video in completely plain English. So if you want to understand how massive corporations manipulate your daily decisions, please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. The sinister history of how your bank account became a digital arcade does not begin on Wall Street, but rather inside the highly competitive notification labs of major social media giants. Early smartphone designers discovered that human beings possess an intense biological aversion to friction, meaning any minor delay like a confirmation pop-up causes an immediate drop in user engagement. By completely stripping away standard financial warning screens, and introducing seamless, one-swipe execution sliders, fintech platforms successfully lowered the psychological barrier to risking your money down to zero. The dark secret that product designers discovered is that when you make losing thousands of dollars feel as physically effortless as swiping through a short video feed, your rational brain completely shuts down. Think about the absolute last time you bought a volatile digital asset with a single tap. And honestly, ask yourself if you felt the actual physical pain of losing cash. Behavioral scientists call this specific phenomenon the minimization of the pain of paying, which explains why turning physical paper currency into abstract glowing numbers completely detaches your mind from reality. When you hold a crisp $100 bill in your hand, giving it away triggers a literal pain response in your insular cortex. But a colorful digital slider completely bypasses this ancient biological alarm system. To keep you permanently trapped inside this profitable loop, app developers began incorporating visual feedback loops stolen straight from the psychology of high-velocity electronic slot machines. For years, whenever an unsuspecting user completed their very first stock trade on a popular platform, the mobile screen would instantly explode into a vibrant, multicolored burst of celebratory digital confetti. This seemingly innocent graphical reward was actually a highly calculated neurological anchor engineered to associate dangerous financial speculation with the primitive joy of winning a video game milestone. Government regulators finally stepped in during a historic consumer protection crackdown, explicitly citing these exact predatory gamification strategies for systematically manipulating complete novices into financial ruin. Investigators discovered that platforms deliberately utilized digital scratch-off reward cards and aggressive, time-sensitive push notifications to trick young users into trading high-risk options every single day. Stay with me right here, because what I am about to expose in the next 2 minutes reveals the single most dangerous psychological weapon hidden inside your smartphone app. The absolute core of the gamification trap relies upon an evolutionary glitch in human biology, known to neuroscientists as the reward prediction error mechanism. Your brain does not actually secrete a massive rush of dopamine when it receives a completely predictable reward, but rather when it encounters a highly uncertain, volatile outcome that catches it by surprise. This is the exact reason why a casino slot machine is infinitely more addictive than a standard vending machine. Because the volatile unpredictability of the next outcome forces your mind to stay hyper-focused. Fintech applications mirrored this exact predatory logic by replacing stable, long-term wealth charts with flashing red and green real-time price tickers that fluctuate violently every single millisecond. By constantly pulsing these highly volatile numbers and sending urgent alerts about trending assets, the app successfully transforms the boring act of investing into a thrilling, high-stakes roller coaster ride. The formal name for this intentional user interface manipulation is Deceptive Behavioral Design, or dark patterns, where the visual layout is explicitly optimized to benefit the company at your direct expense. These massive platforms do not make their vast fortunes when you build steady, passive wealth, but rather generate immense profit from the sheer volume of continuous transaction chaos you generate. Every single push notification screaming at you to check a top-moving asset list is a deliberate psychological trigger designed to exploit your natural fear of missing out. A particularly devastating manifestation of this trap occurs when apps use automated gamified onboarding quizzes to grant completely inexperienced retail users instant access to highly complex financial instruments. Independent industry reports revealed that thousands of young accounts were approved for high-leverage trading with absolutely zero human oversight, treating novice investors like disposable players in a digital simulator. This systemic manipulation reached a tragic boiling point when multiple system outages and highly misleading account balance interfaces left users staring at inaccurate, terrifying negative balances without any explanation. Imagine opening a clean, friendly app only to see a massive visual indicator showing you owe hundreds of thousands of dollars, causing instant, blinding panic because the game design hid the actual truth. This proves that the gamification trap is not a simple user preference, but a highly structural hazard that treats your real-world livelihood and family future as raw engagement data for an algorithm. The ultimate psychological peak of this design operates through a subtle cognitive bias known to psychologists as the illusion of control, which completely convinces you that you are an elite player beating the system. The application rewards you with colorful progress bars, custom trading badges, and level-up milestones that make you feel like a sophisticated financial wizard when you are actually just driving their metrics. In reality, comprehensive university studies tracking retail day traders demonstrate that over 95% of frequent short-term traders lose massive amounts of capital when compared to a boring, passive index fund. The house always wins in a traditional casino, and the fintech application always profits from your continuous transaction data, completely regardless of whether your actual account balance goes up or down. You need to realize that every vibrant sound effect and satisfying haptic vibration built into these applications is structurally calibrated to prevent you from ever closing out the dashboard. By keeping you constantly engaged in this virtual arena, corporate design architects ensure that you remain completely blind to the slow, steady depletion of your actual real-world purchasing power. When you log in and see a global leaderboard showcasing the top weekly investors, your ancient social validation drivers ignite, instantly forcing you to take uncalculated risks just to keep up. This clever psychological trick successfully moves your focus away from long-term capital preservation and redirects it entirely toward the short-term high of achieving temporary digital status among complete strangers. Major financial platforms have spent hundreds of millions of dollars mastering this exact interface psychology because they know that an addicted user base is a deeply lucrative source of continuous corporate revenue. They have effectively commodified your attention span, transforming your genuine financial anxiety into a visual playground where the metrics are explicitly rigged against your long-term survival from the start. Think about how exhausting it feels to constantly monitor these volatile asset charts throughout your productive workday, and consider the immense mental clarity you lose by staying glued to the numbers. The modern fintech revolution promised to democratize financial markets for everyday working people, but it instead delivered a deeply chaotic casino environment optimized for algorithmic tracking and behavioral manipulation. You are not being lazy or weak-willed when you fall into these design traps, because you are actively fighting against the most advanced, data-driven psychological optimization engines ever created in human history. These systems track your exact screen dwell time, your precise scroll speeds, and even the exact moments you hesitate before making a major financial decision to better refine their predatory alerts. They know exactly when you are feeling financially vulnerable, and they systematically deploy highly targeted marketing messages at those specific hours to maximize the probability of an impulsive transaction execution. The entire structure is designed to make you forget that these glowing digital figures represent real hours of your physical labor, real family security, and your true eventual freedom from the daily corporate grind. But once you strip away the colorful gamified exterior and see the cold mathematical reality underneath, the immense power that these applications hold over your subconscious mind completely evaporates into nothing. You can instantly take back absolute control over your financial destiny by choosing to consciously reject these manipulative micro-interactions and rebuilding a deeply healthy, intentional relationship with your hard-earned money. So let us pull this entire psychological matrix together so you can finally break free from this digital manipulation loop forever. We first uncovered how modern mobile platforms intentionally eliminate all natural transactional friction to completely bypass your brain's evolutionary defenses against losing resources. We then exposed how they integrated variable reward schedules and flashing celebratory feedback loops to convert dangerous speculation into a direct chemical dopamine substitute for your mind. We analyzed the massive systemic fallout that conclusively proves how these deceptive interfaces are explicitly engineered to prioritize platform transaction volume over your personal financial safety. We demystified the illusion of control, demonstrating exactly how colorful level-up rewards mask the statistical truth that frequent short-term trading consistently drains away your personal generational wealth. To completely defeat the gamification trap today, you must immediately strip the game elements out of your money by disabling every single non-essential push notification and deleting speculative apps from your home screen. Force yourself to introduce intentional, healthy friction by implementing a mandatory 24-hour cooling-off period before making any digital trade, giving your rational prefrontal cortex the critical time it needs to step back in. Reclaim your personal focus by shifting your focus toward automated, long-term passive investment strategies that do not require constant monitoring or offer cheap digital dopamine rewards for your everyday participation. Remember that true financial security is inherently quiet, steady, and intentionally boring, rather than an adrenaline-fueled smartphone video game designed to constantly capture your limited attention for corporate gain. Please share this exact video with one person you care about who deserves to understand these hidden psychological traps, because a single candid conversation today could protect their lifetime savings for the rest of their days.